along with my sister. I inherited this in 2021 from our mother. She inherited it from a foreign service officer that she worked with. And this foreign service officer was stationed in a lot of countries in Asia. This is one in a collection of jade and I believe marble pieces. She was very fond of jade, this foreign service officer lady. She liked to collect jade, marble, and all these Asian trinkets. And my mom loved them. So she displayed them and we keep them in a box.
At first glance, it looks like an elegant vanity piece from the early 20th century, resting snugly in its fitted box. But the story runs deeper. The jade itself, a soft Celadon white, wasn't carved to be a mirror at all. The top section was once a carving of peaches, a powerful Chinese symbol for longevity and abundance, while the bottom jade was originally a garment hook, shaped into a stylized dragon. These 18th century fragments, already precious, were later mounted into silver around the 1920s, transformed into a luxurious hand mirror decorated with auspicious bats. It's a fusion of eras, Qing Dynasty jade reborn in the Edwardian age, carrying both ancient symbolism and early 20th century elegance.
The value in a retail setting, the box and the hand mirror together, would be $10,000.
Oh, wow. Okay. Good to know. It's exciting.
My father was in China 2 different times, I think in the late 30s and sometime during the 40s, with the Army, and he was a liaison of some sort. He was just a Kentucky farm boy, but he learned Chinese, and he met a Mr. Liang at number 10 Jade Street, and that's pretty much what I remember him always telling me. Mr. Liang would call him and say, "John, I have some pieces you might want to look at." As children, we heard that some of them had Imperial seals, and then I've just always have been curious.
This is not just a jade collection. It's one of the crown jewels of Antiques Roadshow history. When this set of Qianlong-period jade carvings from the Chinese Qing Dynasty was brought into the show, it captured the attention of everyone in the room. The jade dates from the reign of the Qianlong Emperor, 1736 to 1795, a period known for imperial workshops producing the finest jade work in China. The collection includes carved Celadon and jade pieces, bowls, figurines, and decorative forms, made with such mastery they seem almost impossibly delicate.
Bowl there, a conservative auction estimate on that bowl would be $30,000 to $50,000.
No. Oh my gosh.
A conservative estimate on this vase here would be $80,000 to $120,000.
Oh, I love this one.
This animal here, beautifully carved, wonderful quality, would be $200,000 to $300,000.
I can't believe you.
In this bowl here, because of the Imperial inscription, this would be probably very, very conservatively $400,000 to $600,000.
Oh, I don't believe it. Oh my gosh.
For a total amount of between $710,000 to $1,070,000.
Damn.
It's an incredible collection. It's the best thing I have ever seen on the roadshow.
Oh my gosh, I love hearing that. Thank you.
By far.
It belonged to my grandfather. He and my grandmother had it on their mantle, and when he died in 1971, we inherited it. I don't know where we bought it or got it from.
I've seen a lot of jade objects, but I have never seen this form. It is something called a qilan, which is a mythical beast. It was made in China. The animal itself has scales, and it's got this twisted kind of a lion's head or a dragon's head.
Rising around it were swirling shapes resembling clouds, or the lingji mushroom, long associated with luck, longevity, and even immortality. And at its base, a stack of books, symbolizing knowledge and hidden treasures. Every detail carried meaning, reflecting the deepest aspirations of Chinese culture. The material itself was just as rare. This was yellow jade, a color almost never seen. Its soft golden hue set it apart from the more common greens and whites, making it a prize for collectors. The carving style, though less refined than the masterpieces of the Qing Dynasty, pointed to a later date. The Republic period, sometime between 1911 and 1949, when Chinese artisans looked back to the glory of earlier dynasties for inspiration.
Is this something you're planning on keeping? Or?
Yes.
Okay, so I'd say for insurance purposes, somewhere around $40,000.
All right, that's amazing. The last time it was appraised was in 1992 for $1,800. It has jumped.
I brought 2 jade tablets and a jade seal that belonged to my great-great-grandmother in California. She died in 1929. At that point, my mother inherited them. I have been told they are 18th century from China. According to my mother, she may have purchased them in San Francisco, where she lived.
The plaques, mottled green jade and inscribed with Imperial script, were once part of a jade book. Likely one of 12, they carried the weight of history, commemorating an ancestor and bearing the date of 1875, the first year of the Guangxu Emperor's reign. Objects like these were often reserved for the highest echelons of Chinese society, and their survival alone was remarkable. Then there was the seal. Surmounted with twin dragons and carved from rich green jade, it bore all the hallmarks of imperial authority. At first, its workmanship suggested it might not be as early as the 18th century. But placed in context with the Jade pages, it pointed firmly to the late 19th century Qing court. The carving might not have been as refined as earlier masterpieces, but its symbolism, imperial power embodied in stone, was unmistakable. The appraisal stunned everyone.
Together as a associated pair, they would carry an auction estimate of 20 to 30,000.
Okay, wow.
Do you have any idea of value on the seal?
My mother had it appraised at the same time in 2007, and the seal appraised for $1,400 also.
Conservatively, at auction, it would carry an auction estimate of 30 to 50,000.
Okay, all right.
And I think our takeaway was, if there can be a shared consensus within the industry, among peers, that it is 1875 to the end of Guangxu reign, that it may be a multiple of 10. So it may carry an auction estimate of 300 to 500,000.
Oh, is that all? Okay. Well, that's a little bit different than what I was expecting today, but oh my. Thank you. That's amazing. Wow.
So I bought a clip that my mother had for many years. It sat in my office for at least 23, 24 years. She was a collector of all different things. We grew up on the Upper West Side. She happened to take care of a lot of folks in our building. They gifted her things because she was a lovely woman. She gave it to me. Asian pieces are a highlight for me when we're watching the show. I think it's a paper clip to hold actual paper.
In reality, it was something far more extraordinary. A Ming Dynasty jade dragon plaque, dating back nearly 600 years. The piece, carved from rare gray jade, shows a magnificent Eastern dragon, long and sinuous, with whiskers, horns, and scales, flying gracefully through blossoming flowers and curling stems that may represent clouds. Unlike the winged dragons of Western legend, this one soars effortlessly, a symbol of power and good fortune. Originally, this plaque would not have been used to clip paper at all. It once adorned a leather belt, part of a set worn by someone of rank and privilege in Ming society. Its placement at the center of such a belt marked not just fashion, but status, as jade itself was a luxury material reserved for the elite. The plaque had later been mounted onto a silver clip, probably in the 1920s, which explained why it looked like a modern accessory. But strip away the mount, and the true treasure was revealed.
But it's really the jade itself that is the value here. This gray jade dragon plaque at auction would be estimated around $3,000 to $5,000.
Oh my God. Wow. You're kidding me. That's awesome. So exciting. I can't believe I'm here.
I know this is jade. Maybe it's from China, it's Asian. I bought it in a estate sale.
Great. And was the estate sale local or?
No, local.
Okay. How many years ago did you buy it?
many years. I think it's maybe 10 years.
10 years, okay. Do you recall what you paid for it?
Yeah, I paid $30.
$30. You're quite right, it is jade.
The carving takes the shape of a single duck, a symbol rich with meaning in Chinese tradition. Ducks in pairs represent fidelity and a long, happy marriage. But a lone duck, like this one, embodies self-sufficiency, balance, and harmony. A quiet reflection of independence and inner peace. The appraiser noted how the pale Celadon jade, streaked with russet and gray, was exactly what connoisseurs of the 17th century admired. Later collectors sought pure, flawless white jade. But during this earlier period, lapidaries embraced natural variations, celebrating the stone's imperfections as part of its character. Look closely, and you see delicate, incised feathers along the wings, the softly polished surface, and archaic C&S scroll motifs carved into the tail and neck. A deliberate nod to the styles of even more ancient times. Unlike modern reproductions with a glossy finish, this piece retains a gentle, matte polish, speaking to its age and authenticity.
Do you have an idea of value?
I don't know, but I think it's maybe at least more than $30.
Yes. In an auction today, 10 to 15,000.
Oh my God! So I have to buy the lunch for my boyfriend. Oh, I never think about it. It's so much.
It was my uncle's. He was a career Army officer. He enlisted at the beginning of World War II, and he stayed in until 1961. He loved this. He wore it a lot, and he never married, never had children, so it was part of his estate, and his sister gave me all of the jewelry that he had. So that's when this came to me.
And where was he stationed overseas?
I don't know. I think he was in Japan for a while. I heard him talk about Macau, so I think he spent a lot of time traveling when he had leave.
The appraiser immediately recognized its origins. This wasn't a piece bought casually. It likely came from Japan, China, or Macau, where jade is revered as the equivalent of diamonds in the West. The stone itself was carved in a cabochon style, smooth and unfaceted, glowing with a rich, deep green. Under light, faint white areas appeared, a sign it wasn't flawless, but the sheer size and even color made it extraordinary. Mounted in 18-karat gold, the ring carried Asian hallmarks confirming its authenticity. And while its retailer wasn't one of the famous names like Ming, the survival of its original box only added to its charm. Once appraised at $15,000, its value had grown tremendously.
So, in the market today, I'm going to give you a range because it's very hard to pinpoint it because of the size. I would say you're looking at an auction evaluation of $60,000 to $80,000.
Wow, I think I'll have to raise my insurance rates.
This is a piece that's been in my family as long as I can remember, and I believe it was originally purchased by my grandfather.
Do you know about what date your grandfather acquired it?
If I had to guess, it would probably be sometime in the early 1900s.
Carved in the form of a peach, the piece carries deep symbolism. In Chinese culture, peaches represent longevity and immortality, making this likely a birthday gift for a wealthy or high-ranking individual. Fashioned in the late Qing Dynasty, between 1890 and 1920, it was cut from multicolored Jadiite, one of the most prized stones in Chinese art. Its smooth, natural tones rest upon a finely carved rosewood stand, the perfect complement to the gemstone's radiance. While mass-produced Jadiite carvings flooded the market in the 1980s, causing values to plummet, this bowl stands apart. Its craftsmanship is exceptional, a true tour de force that reflects artistry no machine could ever replicate. When it arrived at the roadshow, the owner assumed its worth was modest, perhaps diminished by market trends. But the appraiser revealed the truth.
Now, at auction, currently, this piece would carry a pre-sale estimate of $40,000 to $60,000.
You're kidding. Really?
It's a marvelous example of its type. It's really an exceptional piece, beautiful color,
beautiful.
tour
I
de
love it.
force carving. Thank you very much for bringing it in.
Thank you.
This was given to me as a gift at the age of 10, and I won't say how long that was ago.
I'm not gonna ask.
It was purchased in New York at Park Benet Galleries. I was told that the jade pieces came from a ceremonial belt, Chinese, and probably came into this country in the mid to late 19th century. The piece was commissioned to incorporate these pieces of jade at the Edward Farmer Studio in New York.
All those things are absolutely correct.
At first glance, it looks like a beautiful decorative piece, but on closer inspection, its story reaches back centuries. The white jade panels that decorate it were once part of a ceremonial Chinese belt, likely carved in the 16th century and buried in a tomb. Each panel carries symbolism, one with the shou symbol for long life and good fortune, others with dragons, carved in a style reserved for the elite. Sometime after the Boxer Rebellion in the early 1900s, these panels made their way to New York, where they found new life at the hands of Edward Farmer, a renowned decorator and goldsmith. Working in Manhattan's Carlyle Hotel during the 1920s to 40s, Farmer became famous for blending European luxury design with Asian artistry, often setting jade, lacquer, and exotic materials into modern forms, much like Cartier. Most Farmer pieces appear at auction in the modest $1,000 to $5,000 range. But this is no ordinary box. Unlike many of his works, it is made entirely of 18-karat gold and even incorporates mandarin beads into its design. That elevates it into the realm of Farmer's very finest creations.
In fact, this is worth, I would say, between $80,000 and $125,000. It's a lot of money.
Yes, it is.
Tell me what you know about this pendant.
Well, I know it's a white jade carving. I know not much other than that. We inherited it from my husband's mother.
Oh, yeah? Do you know where she got it?
I have no idea. She traveled the world, so I don't know.
And you tried to sell it at one time, and what happened there?
Well, we put it in an estate sale, and the girl that did the estate said that she did some research on it and thought it might be worth $1,200, but it didn't sell, so it's been in incognito for...
Well, I wish I was at that estate appraisal.
An 18th century white jade pendant, carved during the Qianlong reign of the Qing Dynasty, a golden age of jade artistry. Its material alone sets it apart. This is pure white nephrite jade, highly translucent, the type of stone coveted in China as the very embodiment of purity and perfection. The carving is equally masterful, undulating scrolls, bird heads, and even tiny hooves woven into an intricate, organic design. Every curve reflects the high artistry of the Qing court workshops. Even its size is unusual. Most pendants of this style are half as large, but this one would have hung proudly from a belt, making it both a personal ornament and a display of status.
Do you want to know what we think it's worth?
I would love to know what you think it's worth.
We think that at auction, this would probably sell for between $15,000 to $20,000.
That's better than $1,200.
Exactly.
$15,000 to $20,000. That's amazing.
It's a good jade, and there's very little of it on the market right now.
These are some antique jade pieces that were acquired in about the last 12 years. They were bought from auctions, investing with a family member.
And so obviously you like jade.
Yes, very much.
Sometimes the most dazzling treasures don't come from ancient dynasties, but from the refined artistry of the 20th century. One guest arrived with a stunning collection of jade jewelry, a necklace, earrings, and a ring, all acquired through auctions over the past decade. At first glance, they seemed like lovely keepsakes, but under closer inspection, they revealed a spectrum of jade craftsmanship. The necklace, with its perfectly matched carved beads and interlinked jade rings, dated to the 1930s to 1940s. Bought for $5,000, the earrings, set with glowing Jadiate cabochons and diamonds from the 1960s, were purchased for $3,000, but the true star was the ring. Its cabochon stone, luminous and almost jelly-like, was cut from old mine jade, where cutters shaped stones not for symmetry, but to capture the richest color. This detail revealed its deeper age, far older than its modern setting.
So we've got good, better, and best as far as jade is concerned. So you said you paid $5,000 for this piece. I would say in today's market, this piece, if you were going to go out and buy it again, you'd be looking at somewhere around $7,000.
Oh, okay. Very good.
On the earrings, you said about $3,000. And in today's marketplace, at auction, you would have to probably pay around $8,000 or $9,000
Wow.
for it.
Wow. Wow. That is very, very good news.
But where you've done best is on your ring.
Okay.
The jade market has gone up quite a bit, and with a piece of jade of this quality, in today's market at auction, you're looking at somewhere between $15,000 to $20,000.
Wow.
So this is the best piece you've got. It also is the prettiest, and it's a really beautiful piece of jade.
Thank you, Peter. That is such good news. And this looks like a little jelly belly. But
It is a jelly belly, isn't it?
But it's not worth the jelly belly.
No, a little bit more.
Sometimes, the smallest treasures hold the greatest surprises. A guest arrived with what seemed like a delicate keepsake, a jade snuff bottle, gifted years earlier as a thank you from a patient she once cared for. To her, it was a sentimental token. To the appraiser, it revealed a story of artistry and cross-cultural craftsmanship. Though carved from fine Chinese jade in the late 19th century, its lacquer paintings and shell inlays were executed in Japan, part of a fascinating trade where Japanese artisans exported their work into China's market. This marriage of materials and styles created an object far more precious than its size suggested. With its luminous jade body and intricate detailing, this snuff bottle was no ordinary trinket.
In the auction, it will bring 3,000 to 5,000.
Oh, wow.
Yes, because the jade is very good quality.
In the world of Chinese art, jewelry often carries more than beauty. It carries blessings. This necklace, dating to around 1910, is a perfect example. Carved from luminous jadite and accented with soft pink tourmaline, it isn't just ornamental, it's symbolic. Look closely.
We see a bird here, right? And some oranges. If you see the back, peaches, peaches, peaches.
Oh, okay, so fruit and birds.
Fruits and birds
Love
and the
it.
flowers.
I love
yes.
it.
And the peaches symbolize prosperity.
Oh.
Yes, and Chinese people love them.
Okay.
Yes, it's very auspicious.
Okay.
And oranges too.
Okay.
And the songbirds, I think it's here, means marital harmony.
Beyond its meaning, the craftsmanship and color make it especially rare. Jadiate of this quality, combined with tourmaline, was highly prized in early 20th century China. Today, as jade surges in demand once again, its value has soared.
And what's good about this is it has a very good color. It's jadeite. And this pink stone is tourmaline. Chinese items are going up, especially jades, so that's good.
Oh, good.
So conservative prices, but at the auction it should do 10 to 15,000.
Oh my word!
These were my grandfather's. In the early part of last century, he did a lot of traveling in Eastern Europe and in Asia. And I think he had a whole collection of snuff bottles. And what I understood from my grandmother is he kind of bartered for them. So he had about 30 of them in a little case that was over the fireplace in their house.
Not all treasures reveal their worth at first glance. What might look like two similar bottles actually tells two very different stories. The first, carved from deep blue lapis lazuli, dates to around 1850 to 1860. With its birds and flowers finely etched, it's elegant and well-made, but its value rests at about $400, a modest sum for a lovely piece of 19th century craftsmanship. But then comes the second bottle, something extraordinary. Carved in the Imperial workshops for the Empress of China between 1780 and 1820, this piece of emerald green jadite is astonishingly thin-walled, a feat that wasted large amounts of precious jade in pursuit of perfection. The delicate carving, foo dog masks, foliation, and a tourmaline-topped stopper leave no doubt. This was an object of power and privilege.
What would you think that bottle is worth?
So I thought they're all worth a couple $100s.
This bottle's worth between $50,000 to $60,000.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
And $50,000 to $60,000, that would be an auction estimate, and it could even go higher than that because
Wow.
these things are very desirable.
Wow.
Everybody wants a bottle like that in their collection. So I think you picked the right bottle.
I did. I'm speechless. I had no idea.
This was a gift from my Aunt Juanita. She went to Shanghai in 1929 to teach English at Shanghai University, and they lived in Shanghai until 1957, and they moved to New York City. And I don't know if it's something that she had in China and brought with her, or if it's something she purchased in New York City.
Family gifts sometimes turn out to be treasures far beyond expectation. This pale green jade disc, passed down from an aunt who once lived in Shanghai, is a perfect example. At first glance, its circular form and Celadon hue stand out. Carved across its surface are swirling clouds, waves, and dragons weaving in and out, almost hidden within the design.
So on the reverse, there's this fine cross-hatch pattern that covers the entire surface. Now, that's really important because this is a reference to a type of ritual jade object that was included in burials from as early as 3000, 3400 BC, up through roughly around the Han Dynasty, which is 2nd century AD.
But the mystery deepens. Is this disc an 18th century creation from the Qing Dynasty or a 20th century revival piece made in the style of the past? The carving suggests later influences, leaving experts uncertain. What isn't in doubt, however, is its value.
As if it dated from the early 20th century, but it's the kind of thing that's going to require more research. You want to venture a guess on what kind of value this would have?
Before hearing all that, I might have said like $400, $500.
I think a more reasonable amount would be $15,000 to $20,000 at auction.
Oh, goodness. Wow. My friend told me not to get emotional. Another treasure from Aunt Juanita.
I bought it at a flea market from a dealer who sells American Indian artifacts. And I bought it as a group with American Indian, and this came with the purchase. I believe the lot was $1,200 to $1,500.
At first glance, it was just part of the bundle. But when examined more closely, it revealed itself to be far older and far rarer than expected. This was no modern trinket. The plaque dates all the way back to the Yuan dynasty, between 1271 and 1368. The carving depicts a goose drifting serenely in a lotus pond, with blossoms rising above the water, an image rich in symbolism. In Chinese art, lotus flowers often represent purity and spiritual rebirth, while geese were emblems of fidelity and long journeys. Originally, a plaque like this would have been sewn into fabric and worn at the waist, carrying both elegance and meaning. The jade itself has been reset into a modern silver bracelet, a 20th or 21st century edition. But that doesn't take away from the importance of the ancient carving at its heart. Its survival across centuries, from Imperial China to a humble flea market in modern America, is remarkable.
At auction, I would estimate something like this at $4,000 to $6,000.
Good. I didn't know. I was hoping between 5 and 10, you know.
The estimate that I gave you is for the plaque itself, not how it's been set in the bracelet.
I brought my grandmother's necklace. She brought it from China. She came to the U.S. in 1923. And then this I bought on an online auction about 4 years ago.
The necklace, though beautifully carved in Jadiate and framed in high-carat gold, is relatively new by antique standards. With some mottling in the stone and less than a century of age, it holds modest value. But the compact was another matter entirely. At first glance, it looked like an elegant vanity piece. Inside, it revealed 2 compartments, once fitted with mirrors, and jade carvings modeled after ancient Han Dynasty coins, symbols of luck and prosperity. Although one jade insert was cracked and the other slightly damaged, the craftsmanship of the piece elevated its worth. The case itself is made of green gold, an extremely rare alloy prized for how beautifully it takes to enamel. The artisan who created it clearly understood this, covering the case in rich black enamel that gleams even today. To complete the piece, it hangs from a platinum chain.
Now, how much did you pay for this?
$1,200.
Your Jadeite piece over here would bring anywhere from $1,000 to $1,200 at auction.
Oh, okay.
Your compact at auction could easily go anywhere from $12,000 to $15,000.
No kidding. Oh my God. I don't believe it. Oh my God, really? I don't believe it. Oh my God.
Enjoy it.
Thank you.
I bought it at auction in 1993 in Lexington. My husband and I both are interested in Asian things. I had the opportunity to buy it and I thought it was a good price, and I didn't really know for sure what it was other than I thought it was probably some kind of jade, but it was listed as Spanish nephrite.
What did this cost? Do you remember?
Well, I can't really remember, and I couldn't find a receipt for it, but I want to say maybe about $800.
The basin is carved from Nephrite jade, known for its deep green hue often compared to spinach. Its shallow recessed form, about 3 inches deep, marks it as a wash basin, designed to sit atop a wooden stand filled with water. The interior is richly carved with lotus blossoms, leaves, and vines, while the border incorporates chrysanthemums and bats. Every element is a deliberate symbol. Lotus for purity, bats for good fortune, chrysanthemums for longevity. Even the exterior carries a continuous lotus scroll, ensuring the piece looked just as elegant from the side as from above. Dating from the late 18th to early 19th century Qing Dynasty, the craftsmanship is well above average. Despite some natural fissures in the stone, a feature typical of jade, the basin remains an extraordinary example of Chinese decorative art.
I would recommend an insurance figure for this of about $25,000.
Oh my God. Okay.
Okay?
Wow.
25,000, maybe even 30,000.
Whoa.
Okay?
Oh my God.
That's what you would be expected to pay if you went to an antique shop that dealt in Chinese art and bought this today.
Wow, that's amazing. Okay. Oh, I'm excited.
Mom and Dad traveled extensively out of the country, in the country, and they would come back with things that they picked up in the antique stores. I think they brought this back from somewhere in their travels in the U.S.
Approximately what period of time?
Probably in the 70s or the 80s. Yeah. They never really told me what it was. I was the one that got them, and they've been sitting on a shelf for the last 25, 30 years.
The first piece, an 18th to 19th century jade pomander, was designed to hold spices or incense, gently perfuming a room. Its surface carries archaic scrolling patterns, and on the underside is the mark of Edward Farmer, the celebrated New York jeweler who specialized in mounting Asian artifacts in elegant Western settings. While his name doesn't necessarily increase intrinsic value, it guarantees desirability among collectors. The second piece turned out to be even more remarkable, an 18th century censer carved in Mughal style. Though Chinese in origin, its form was inspired by Indian jade artistry. Unlike later, thinner examples, this censer is carved from thick jade, its weight and russet markings confirming its authenticity and age. Entirely hand-carved, it embodies centuries of craftsmanship passed down with little stylistic change.
This one here, with the farmer name on it, would be probably $6,000 to $8,000. Mm-hmm. The other one that's here, the Mughal one, would be more like $8,000 to $12,000.
You're kidding. Unbelievable.
And that is at auction. That's an auction estimate.
Right.
And I would not be surprised if they sold for much more at the end of the day.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, very interesting.
But
thank you very much.
Wonderful things.
Yeah, thank you.
My very favorite aunt gave this to me. She wore it every day. She gave it to me in about 2007. Growing up, I heard that her married lover gave it to her. And so my mother absolutely hated the piece. Upon her death, I read her diary, and it stated that she found this piece at a jewelry store and went to the bank, asked for a loan, said, "What will you loan me? I have no assets, but I have an honest face." And the bank officer loaned her $250. The necklace cost her, I believe, $257. So she did buy it herself. This would be in, I believe, March of 1957.
The piece turned out to be far more extraordinary than anyone imagined. Stamped and numbered Cartier, the necklace likely dates to the Art Deco period, around 1920, though its elements are even older. The Jadiate pendant and beads, originating from Burma or China, were probably carved in the 19th century. Seed pearls, tourmaline, and platinum with diamonds surround the jade, echoing the luxurious combinations once favored by the Chinese court. What makes it even more remarkable is the quality of the jadeite itself. Untreated, vibrant apple green, known as Imperial jade, though with a few white inclusions. Cartier's name, the use of top-tier gemstones, and the pendant's impeccable craftsmanship place it among the finest creations of its era.
Set with diamonds, there's a consensus that in a retail setting, it would be $50,000.
Really? Amazing.
For an insurance value, $75,000.
Speechless, just speechless.
After the Second World War, my husband came back from Germany, and then he was sent to Korea.
Really?
He was a chemist, and he was in charge of the chemical plants over there. A Korean wanted something American. I really cannot remember what it was. And he offered to trade my husband whatever he gave him American for this jade collection.
Though obtained in Korea, the carvings are unmistakably Chinese, dating to the 18th century during the reign of Emperor Qianlong. The emperor had an insatiable passion for white jade, a stone mined in northwest China and revered for its purity. Under his influence, jade became the height of taste and sophistication, not just for the court, but for wealthy merchants eager to mirror imperial style. The collection included finely made scholars' objects, a bi-disc, a censer, and an incense vase, each carved with exquisite precision. These were not everyday trinkets, but symbols of status and refinement, created at a time when jade artistry reached its peak.
Of the entire collection, the most important pieces are this piece, the B-disc, the censer, and the incense vase, which would each bring individually between $10,000 to $15,000 at auction. The entire collection would bring probably now, because the market is really hot, $40,000 to $60,000 easily at auction.
Wow.
What a wonderful acquisition for trade.
Wow.
These are really terrific, beautifully carved examples from the reign of the Emperor Qianlong.
That much?
I'm so excited that you brought them in.
About 20 years ago, I was at an auction. It was a storage and moving type of auction, and they had a few pieces on the table, and I happened to see this, and it went up for auction, and I purchased it for between $20 and $40. And for 20 years, it's been sitting in my display cabinet, and I never knew anything about it. I believe that's jade. It has that cold touch to me. I'm not an expert. I don't know anything about jade, but I knew that it was jade.
He was right. It is jade. More precisely, Nephrite jade, carved in China. But its story reaches far deeper. The vase, with its powerful rounded body, elegant S-curved handles, and delicate bracket-like leaves, reflects a style that emerged during the transitional period between the Ming and Qing dynasties, around the 17th to early 18th century. Its pale green stone bears natural inclusions, cloudy patches, streaks of brown, and a visible fissure. all marks that reveal both the authenticity of the material and the hand-carved artistry of its creation. The appraiser noted that once, long ago, it likely had a lid. That missing detail is a loss, because a complete piece could have soared in value. Still, the vase remains a rare survival, beautifully patinated from centuries of handling and admired for its balance of power and grace.
At auction, I think it's not unreasonable to estimate this to sell in the range of $10,000 to $15,000.
Really? Really? That was a good $20 investment I made. Oh my God. Well, if it had the lid, what would the value be? Would it increase the value?
I think it would be reasonable to expect it to be in the $30,000 to $50,000 range.
If it had the lid. I had second thoughts at the last minute. I said, I didn't think it would be worth anything. I just thought, well, maybe I'll go ahead and bring it.
It's a snuff bottle, a gift from a friend. She bought it in the 1960s as a possible Fabergé piece.
It's a stunning piece. It is a Fabergé piece.
That's amazing.
The bottle itself dates from the 18th century, carved from glowing Jadiate, and likely treasured long before it ever caught the eye of Russia's most famous jeweler. Around 1890 to 1900, the House of Fabergé elevated it into true imperial splendor by adding a dazzling gold cap. Made of 14-karat Russian standard gold, the cap was studded with a circle of fiery Burmese rubies and crowned with a rich Cabochon garnet. The workmanship is unmistakable. The elegance, the balance, the way luxury never overwhelms the object but instead enhances it. Carl Fabergé had already been appointed jeweler to the Russian imperial crown by Tsar Alexander III, and soon after, he was crafting the legendary imperial Easter eggs. This snuff bottle belongs to that same world of artistry, objects made not only for use, but as symbols of refinement and power.
I'm very happy to tell you, retail, this is easily would sell between $50,000 and $75,000.
Oh my gosh, that's fabulous.
And it is a unique piece. It's not replaceable.
No, absolutely.
It should be insured for $100,000. It's absolutely a fabulous piece.
That's wonderful.
It's museum quality.
I inherited them. They were my great uncle's, and he had done some work in Costa Rica, planting trees for some kind of a government project. I know very little beyond that.
When was he there?
I could not even tell you. I didn't even think about trying to run that down before I came.
Okay. Do you have any idea what they are?
I have absolutely no idea.
Not every heirloom tucked away in a family box turns out to be ancient history, but in this case, it truly was. What the guest thought were just unusual pendants turned out to be pre-Columbian Jadeite treasures from Costa Rica, dating back as far as 300 to 900 AD. These pieces come from the Guanacaste-Nicoya region, an area rich in Jadeite carving traditions. Two of them are known as axe gods, ritual pendants carved in avian or anthropomorphic forms, symbols of both power and spirituality in Central American cultures. The delicate lines suggest wings, while another pendant is topped with twin alligator heads, a design tied to strength and the natural forces revered by ancient societies. Each pendant still shows the small holes that once allowed them to be strung and worn, perhaps in ceremonies or as protective amulets. What makes them remarkable is not only their age, but their authenticity. Careful examination confirmed they were not reproductions, but genuine artifacts more than 1,000 years old. Carved from Jadiate, one of the hardest stones known, these pendants carried deep spiritual weight for the people who made them. Today, they carry monetary value as well.
For the group here, this is $3,000 to $5,000.
Oh,
$3,000 to $5,000 on a retail level.
Thank you. I had no
so
idea.
I made your day.
Yeah, happy dance.
It belonged to my mother-in-law and father-in-law. My father-in-law was the first consul general for the new country of the Republic of Korea in New York City. I don't know how it came into their possession, but they gave it to my husband, and when he died, it came to me.
And what do you understand this to be?
My best guess is it's a small white jade rice bowl and plate or saucer.
What looked like a simple heirloom sitting quietly on a shelf turned out to be a pair of precious white jade treasures, a dish and a covered bowl, linked not by design, but by family history. The guest believed the two had always belonged together, but the appraiser quickly revealed otherwise. The dish, with its wide, flat center and gently curving walls, echoed elegant forms favored in the 18th and early 19th centuries. Its pure white color suggested it was the sort of jade reserved for the wealthiest collectors in China. The covered bowl, though similar in refinement, was carved slightly later, most likely in the early 20th century, around 1925. Despite their differences in color and age, both pieces embodied the same timeless reverence for jade as a material of luxury, purity, and endurance. Thinly carved and luminous, the bowl and dish show the artistry that jade carvers perfected over centuries. Though not created as a set, they had been passed down as one, surviving generations as a symbol of family continuity.
Want to venture a guess about the value?
Maybe $1,000.
Well, I think it's worth a bit more than that. I believe that the two objects together are worth $15,000 to $25,000 at auction.
Oh my heavens. Oh my heavens. That is stunning.
Long before jade was admired in jewelry boxes or display cabinets, it was carved into objects of power and ceremony. One remarkable example is this Zhou Dynasty jade spear point mounted in a bronze shaft, dating back nearly 3,000 years to around 1046 to 770 BC. Though it looks weathered with age, beneath its encrustation once shimmered inlays of gold, silver, and turquoise, forming elaborate interwoven designs of dragons and mythical creatures. But despite its fierce appearance, this was never meant for battle. Instead, it was a ritual object, created to symbolize strength, authority, and spiritual connection, and then placed in a tomb to accompany its owner into the afterlife. The holes along the bronze shaft tell us how it would have once been attached to wood, completing its form. What makes this piece especially rare is the survival of the jade blade itself. In most unearthed ritual weapons, the delicate jade has long since been lost, leaving only bronze remains. To find both still together, intact, is nothing short of extraordinary. Unearthed relics like this began surfacing in the late 19th century as railway and road construction disturbed ancient tombs across China. Many of those treasures now reside in major museums. Few, however, survive outside institutions, making this example even more remarkable.
What do you think this is worth?
$20,000.
You are great. It's worth about $20,000 to $30,000 at auction.
That's wonderful.
Among the many treasures that crossed borders and centuries, few tell a layered story as beautifully as this Japanese-embellished Chinese snuff bottle.
This is a snuff bottle that was passed down from my great-aunt Celida, and she and her husband traveled extensively, probably in the 1920s. They went overseas and they were in the Orient a fair amount.
At its heart lies an 18th century white jade bottle, carved during the reign of the Qianlong Emperor. Its smooth, milky nephrite, accented with natural brown pebbling, was prized in its own time not for perfection, but for character. The subtle markings celebrated the stone's natural beauty. These bottles were more than containers. They were tactile objects, meant to be fingered like a worry stone, a mark of refinement and status when tobacco could only be taken as snuff. But this piece did not remain unchanged. By the 19th century, it traveled to Japan, where artisans gave it a second life. With applied soapstone, lapis lazuli, lacquer, and tiny seed pearls, they transformed it into a miniature canvas. A scene of cherry blossoms unfolds across its surface, while a child presents the auspicious lingji fungus, a symbol of longevity and good fortune. What was once a simple Imperial-era snuff bottle became an embellished work of art, blending Chinese craftsmanship with Japanese decorative flair. Its stopper, topped with pink tourmaline, conceals a spoon for taking snuff, completing both its function and its elegance.
Do you have any sense of the value, or have you ever had the bottle appraised before?
Never had it appraised, and no sense of the value or even what was paid for it initially.
Well, the snuff bottle market is a strong one presently. Okay. I think if this were to come up for auction in 2016, sure, a conservative and reasonable auction estimate would be $4,000 to $6,000.
You're kidding. Oh my gosh. I had no idea.
Thank you so much for joining me on this journey through the most extraordinary jade treasures ever seen on Antiques Roadshow. If you enjoyed this story, don't go just yet. Right here on your screen, you'll find 2 more amazing videos waiting for you. One takes you into the timeless world of pottery masterpieces, and the other unlocks the beauty and history behind antique brooches. Go ahead, click on either one, and continue the adventure.